What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. We got to talk about the Sacramento Kings and specifically AaronFox because this team is playing excellent basketball and he is the key engine for why this team is doing what it's doing. They're on a 5-game win streak and he has been absolutely amazing all year long. We're going to get into AaronFox and the Kings in a little bit. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But the Kings have been in the NBA cellar for the better part of 20 years now. And it's awesome to see that this team is on they're on a 5-game win streak. They've been dominating in a lot of these games, and the team is playing great basketball collectively. But I believe it's largely in part due to how great AaronFox has been. We're going to get to his offense because that's always spectacular. But I want to start with his defense because the last few years, his defense had really been pretty poor for a defender that is, fast, has quick hands, and is great in transition and is athletic as hell. I think a lot of that was due to coaching and the team just not being very good around him. I think the coaching has helped a lot because his effort on defense, I think, has definitely taken an uptick. He's posted his best defensive rating he's had since his second year in the league. It's a mouthful to explain, but defensive rating is very complex and not always the greatest thing to prove why somebody's been better on defense. But in reality, he's just been better staying in front of people. The steals are about the same from what they have been for his career, but his rebounds have gone up. And he's hustling more for loose balls, and it's making a difference in their win total. I mentioned his rebounding; he's averaging the most rebounds he's ever averaged for his career, almost 5 rebounds a game. And if we're gonna go into his shooting, he had one bad shooting game this year. In that game, he had 17 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists against the Miami Heat. This was in a win, and if your shot's not falling, you got to find ways to find other ways to make an impact in the game. And for a point guard that's, he's not the tallest guy out there, for him to get 13 rebounds against a team that is very scrappy like Miami is, that's a true mark of somebody that's really putting their best foot forward and applying effort on both ends of the floor. So I thought that was really nice to see because, a couple years ago, he's not doing that. He's not putting that effort out there. And I think one that goes to having Mike Brown as the coach, who has done a very, very solid job thus far. And then, the team around him has been pretty good. They've got I think 5 or 6 guys averaging double figures. Sabonis is shooting like 58% from the field. Herder's shooting really well. Malik Monk's shooting really well. Keegan Murray's doing his thing. So they have a really developed roster around him, which is the first time that he's ever had one. And you're seeing overall his offense, if we want to get into that now, has just jumped into a completely different level. He's only up like 1 or 2 points a game overall from what he did last year, but the efficiency is an insane jump. From the field, shooting, he's up 8% from a year ago, 7%, almost 8% from 3, and 7 to 8% from the free throw line. Those are huge numbers. That is a huge jump in efficiency. That's the difference between really taking, 20 shots and taking 25 shots. Those are possessions that your team needs to win games, especially in the close ones. So him being more effective on less attempts and scoring more and just making a bigger impact on the game is just, chef's kiss. This guy has been going through so much losing to now he's putting on his best performances and they're winning games. And he's just really been a killer. To get into his statistical averages, if you don't know them already, he's averaging 24.8 points per game. This is on 55% from the field as a point guard, that's remarkable. 37.5% from 3 and 82% from the line. I think these, maybe not the overall shooting percentage, that'll probably tick down a couple points. But the 3-point percentage, I think that's sustainable. And the free throw percentage, I think that is 100% sustainable. And I think that's a good metric for seeing that especially because his free throw percentage has gone up 7 or 8%. That's a good metric to see that, his shooting is probably for real because he's knocking it down from all levels on the floor and he's being very consistent at it. I think his passing too is one of those things he's always been just a decent, just solid point guard passer. But this year it's taken another level. He's averaging about 6+ assists per game, almost 7. He's right in between. But in the last 5 games, 5-game win streak that I already mentioned, he's averaging 9 assists per game. I think there's a direct correlation between them winning and him getting others involved and getting people open. We can go into what their team is shooting around him. It's pretty amazing. So Sabonis is averaging almost 18 points a game. Kevin Huerter is averaging about 16 points a game. Malik Monk, 13 points a game. Keegan Murray, 12. Harrison Barnes, 12. Terrence Davis is giving you 8. But then the efficiency of these guys. This is really where it's kind of taken a huge jump. Sabonis is shooting 58% from the field. Right around the area that those effective big guys that play most of the game in the paint is pretty normal. So he's doing pretty good. Kevin Huerter shooting almost 50%. Malik Monk shooting 45, Keegan Murray shooting 45, Harrison Barnes shooting 44, Terrence Davis 49. 3-point percentages, Kevin Huerter's at 51%. Getting him was a big deal. Malik Monk's at almost 38%. Keegan Murray's almost 38%. So they got it with shooters around him finally, and he's finding the shooters. They're winning games. Just look at these last 5 games that they won. They beat the Spurs. That game, they won 130 to 112. They won by 18. They put up 153 points on the Nets and beat them by 32. They put up 122 on Golden State, who is notorious for having a very damn good defense. They beat them by 7. They beat my Lakers 120 to 114. That I would have bet on the Kings to win that game. I like them more this year than the Lakers. That was a game in which De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, by the way. And then the game before that was against Cleveland. Cleveland's very damn good. They won 127 to 120. So these 5 games are putting up a ton of points, and the defense has been okay. It's been solid. They don't have like great lockdown defenders, but they're doing it as a collective unit, which is what you need to do if you want to win in the NBA. You can't be doing this 1-on-5 all game. It doesn't work. But let's go over De'Aaron Fox's scoring outbursts that he's had this season, because he's had some just crazy games. Opened the season with 33, and he was 12 of 21 in that game. Damn good start. Next game, follows it up, has 36, shoots 15 of 23. Amazing, right? Game after that, 26, shoots 11 for 20. That's over 50%. Game after that, scores 27, shoots 11 for 19. That's over 50%. It's just great efficiency. And then he has that game against Miami where he shoots 6 for 17, but he puts up 13 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple steals, and 17 points, and they win the game anyway. Then he has a game against Charlotte where he left early, only played 9 minutes. Game doesn't mean anything to me. Whatever. Then when he comes back, 37 points on 14 of 24 shooting against Orlando. This was an OT win. Then they go up against Golden State. He puts up 28, and he shoots 47% from the field in that game. Then, the games that I mentioned with Cleveland, the Lakers, Golden State, whatnot, he puts up 32, 22, 28. Like, he's doing his thing out there. And this team, like, they look legit. They look legit. They look like they can definitely fight for, a top 8 seed in the West. And they're not going to be easy for anyone to beat. They just got to stay healthy. That's going to be the biggest thing. And Harrison Barnes isn't even shooting from 3 all that well. And he's notoriously a pretty solid 3-point shooter. So if he ever gets that into gear, that's more points, more efficiency, higher efficiency, I should say, where this team really has another level that they can reach. And I think that Sabonis will get even better. I think that pairing of Fox and Sabonis is going to get better as they get more experience together. Really only been together for half a season. And this is the first, part of a season where it's actually meant something for them to be playing together. So it's great to see. 5-game win streak, 8-6. You start off 3-6, you're thinking, oh, it's the same old Kings again. That is not the truth. They're 8-6, and they got a shot to make some noise this year and be a tough team to beat. And De'Aaron Fox is the biggest reason for it. And I haven't really seen a lot of people giving him a lot of respect, a lot of credit. I haven't really seen a lot of buzz about it, but I'm like, dude's been on fire. John Morant's like the only point guard that I really ever see that's scoring 30 plus points and doing it on 50% plus efficiency. So that's a high standard for him to be in, with De'Aaron Fox being on that level of like a John Morant or a Steph Curry or any of those guys. But he's making his name for himself, and it's awesome to see. I think the Kings are going to be really, really solid this year. But anyway, do you agree with me? Do you think De'Aaron Fox has taken that next step? I really think he has. Do you think the Kings are finally out of the cellar and back and ready to make some noise in the NBA again? I do. Let me know, because that might be a little bit of a hot take because it's the Kings, but they look legit. Can't ignore it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But thank you for watching. I'm done here. Cannot wait to see what De'Aaron Fox does. He's going to the All-Star game this year. Peace.